So you're thinking about making a move to Helotes, Texas. In this video, we're going to show you around Helotes on a map. That way you can get your bearings on where Helotes is in conjunction to San Antonio and everything that Helotes has to offer. If this is your first time to our channel and you'd like to know everything there is to know about living in San Antonio and its surrounding areas, make sure to subscribe and tap the bell for notifications to ensure that you're one of the first to get our market updates for San Antonio and its surrounding areas. My name is Katie Powers, and my husband Stephen Garza and I get phone calls from people just like you looking to make a move. Whether you're 6 days or 6 months away from moving to the San Antonio area, we would absolutely love to hear from you. All of our information is listed right below in the description box, and we would be honored to be your realtors of choice to help you make a smooth transition into San Antonio and its surrounding areas. Now, let's take a look at Helotes. So we are looking at Helotes proper on Google Maps. Now, something to keep in mind, Helotes has actually grown a little bit and had some of these neighborhoods annexed in, which is a good thing. Helotes is located in Bexar County, and it is actually the very start of the Texas Hill Country. So let me zoom out here and you can see where it's at in conjunction to San Antonio. It is on the northwest part of San Antonio. So not to be confused with the far west side, the far northwest side. We've got lots of words for this part of town, but Helotes itself is in the true northwest corridor of San Antonio, okay? So we are going to be covering everything that it has to offer for you right now. Now, Helotes is located right off Loop 1604, and this is Bandera Road. This is going to be your main lifeline, I guess you could say, in Helotes. I mean, it's the main street that goes straight through Helotes on its way to Bandera. It's also known as 16, but the locals don't call it 16. I mean, when you look at a map, it says that, but really it's just Bandera Road. Now, Bandera Road goes all the way into San Antonio to Loop 410. I would never suggest that you go from 1604 to 410 via Bandera Road. It's just a lot of stoplights, and this is heavy on neighborhoods. So it's just a slow go. You're better off going Loop 1604 to the I-10 corridor right here and coming down I-10 to 410. That'll save you lots of time, okay? So the main freeways there, obviously Bandera Road is not really a freeway, but it is a main, as Steve called it, a main artery through Helotes. And then 1604, I-10, and then you have this nifty new little road that they put in the last few years called 151, which is really just kind of, it cuts you through to Loop 410 from 1604. It's a nice little shortcut. So those are your main roads out here. All right. So in Helotes, you have lots of different things going on. You've got Government Canyon Park right over here, one of the largest state parks in our area. It's over 12,000 acres. It's absolutely massive. Definitely a great family activity. We spend a lot of time there. We love camping, and there's lots of places to camp in Texas, and some of our friends make fun of us for camping so close to home, but it just makes things easy, especially when you have little ones. If it starts raining, you know, things just happen, and it's a short trip home if something bad happens, like a thunderstorm shows up. So, which has happened to us, by the way. So we'll camp here. They've got campsites here. They even have it listed on Google Maps, the dinosaur tracks. So they have a really nice hiking trail. On this specific trail, they do not allow dogs. Just a fun fact to remember if you want to go hiking with your dog. There are other trails that you can use in Government Canyon to take your dog on a hike, but the dinosaur track, they do not allow dogs. And it has really cool dinosaur fossils throughout, and it's kind of like a scavenger hunt for the kids to go check out those dinosaur tracks, and just a really, really fun day event to do, which is really nice how close it is to Helotes. So you also have another natural area park over here and Medallion Park right behind Hills and Dales. So lots of parks for such a small little town. The population of Helotes is right over 9,000. So it is a very small community, and it's got that small town feel. So when we zoom in, you'll see Oldtown Helotes is right over here, and you'll always know it's Oldtown because of the John T. Flores country store. Now, some cool history on Helotes. This Oldtown Helotes used to be a stagecoach stopping point for people who were traveling from San Antonio to Bandera. So in the 1940s, this country store opened up. I actually think it was a little before the 40s. I double checked the history on that, but I believe it's right in the 40s is when it opened up as a store. And over the years, it's been transformed into a country hall. So there's actually a lot of really great country concerts that get held in this old country store that's now called Flores. We just shortened it. It's not even John T. Flores Country Store anymore. It's just Flores. And the floors are all wood, and it's a nice little dance area in there. But you also have some great little antique shops to shop around in Oldtown Helotes. It has a cute coffee shop and a bakery, and it actually has a 12-minute walking history tour that you can go on and check out all those really cool historic items and markers that are there. So just a fun day event to do in Helotes. And then you also have a lot of neighborhoods. So here in Bandera is where you've got all your fast food you could possibly think of. Every type of fast food is there. You have right across Bandera in 1604. This is a busy intersection, but right up this intersection, you have a big HEB. And when I say a big HEB, it's actually considered an HEB plus. So think of a grocery store on steroids in general, and then add in furniture and clothing and all the things. So it's like equivalent to a super Walmart, which you have across the street. You have a Walmart, you have a Target, you have Academy, you have pretty much every daily necessity shopping restaurants all in this little intersection. So anywhere you live in Helotes, to HEB or to Walmart, depending where you want to grocery shop or do your shopping, 5-10 minutes. And it really just depends on these two stoplights as you're getting there and how that traffic's looking that day. But really easy access to almost anything you can think of, which is why Helotes has become such a hot spot for housing. Now, if we talk about the housing, we are going to talk about the price points. So in Helotes, you can find a home as low as $350,000. There's not a lot of them. There's a few of them. And it goes all the way up to 1.2, 1.3 million. Your average sales price in Helotes is going to be between $400,000 and $700,000. It's higher than your median household average in San Antonio as a whole. So it is technically more expensive to live in Helotes than it would be just inside the 1604 corridor, but it's really beautiful. And a lot of these neighborhoods back up to Government Canyon. So in a lot of these neighborhoods, you have views that will never change because it is a state park and it will not change. So that's the benefit of living in these great neighborhoods. Now, in our vlog tour of Helotes, you're going to hear and see me talk about Sonoma Ranch. So Sonoma Ranch is at the start of what locals consider Helotes. So here on the map, it's not showing it as Helotes, but it is. So right here is Sonoma Ranch. Let me just, then you can see it. So it's huge. It's off of Kyle Seal Parkway. In the locals' eyes, that's where Helotes starts. Kyle Seal Parkway all the way to Bandera exit. That's in our eyes where Helotes starts and ends. Now I do know it does come over here to Gollum Road. There are some new builds that are being built in this area that are considered Helotes, and their address is Helotes, and they are taxed at the Helotes rate. So that is something to consider if you really want to be in Helotes. But the majority is going to be here in Sonoma Ranch, and then all of this area is your majority for Helotes. Now, Sonoma Ranch is so large that it's broken into different sections and different communities. So, for example, in our vlog tour, we took you to the back end of Sonoma, which is considered the hills at Sonoma Ranch, and it is gated. The front part of Sonoma is not gated, and that is where you can find the homes ranging from $350 to $450. You do get homes over here in the 400s to 450s as well, but they go up higher because it is the gated portion. Now there are new neighborhoods that are being built over here. Those are a little pricier homes because they're actually up on the hill. So you have a much grander view looking down. Now, the cool thing about Helotes is you get a really wide variety type of living. So you can live in Sonoma Ranch and be in a neighborhood with a normal size lot. Or if you go further out in Helotes, over in this area, like Iron Horse Canyon, or over in this area, which is where Los Reyes is, that we showed the $1.2 million house. They back up to Government Canyon, so they have great views, but they're also sitting on larger lots. So you can find homes in this area with half-acre lots, 1-acre lots. If you go further out here in this area, you've got lots of communities that are being built out with 3 to 10-acre lots. So you can get acreage and build a house on it, or find a pre-owned home on these large acreage lots, or you can find a half-acre lot with a nice house and a nice community, or the standard lot size with a house. You just have a lot of variety. And of course, in Texas, land for the majority, the more land you have, that higher the cost is, as is in most places, but specifically in Texas, that land has a high value. So that's when you see the prices going up 800, 900 to 1.2 if you're looking at 2 to 5 acres, the land in that area, and then of course the views are going to make that go up. So you are close to everything in Helotes, which is why it is so sought after. Okay, so again, like we said, we've got 1604 here. You've got the I-10 corridor. Now, right in this corridor area is what we call the Rim and La Cantera. So the Rim is comprised of like a movie theater and a whole bunch of really nice restaurants. Price points range. Postino's is my favorite in the Rim. They're a wine bar restaurant, and they have some really good bruschetta and wine. And on Tuesdays after 8 o'clock, you can get a bruschetta board and a whole bottle of wine for 25 bucks. It's really good. It's my favorite, clearly. There's also a lot of Mexican restaurants and wide variety of restaurants in the Rim. You also have a Target, a movie theater, and then over at La Cantera is where you have your really nice shopping. So it's an outdoor mall because most of our days are absolutely beautiful. So you can walk outside. They've got all kinds of stores, from H&M to Abercrombie to, well, they had the Limited, but the Limited's now gone, which is really sad because that was my favorite store. But you just have all kinds, anything you can think of for shopping. It's essentially just a mall, it's just an outdoor mall, okay? Then you have Six Flags right in the same area. So you've got Six Flags right here. You can see it from the freeway. It's huge. So you're close to Six Flags, and SeaWorld is down here. So you're close to SeaWorld as well. You have right here off the I-10 corridor, you have USAA. This is considered, in San Antonio, we consider this medical center. Most of the hospitals and medical facilities are located in this area, right off the I-10 corridor. You also have UTSA right here, 1604 and I-10. So you're just really close. I have a lot of clients that work at USAA that live in Helotes, specifically Sonoma Ranch, because it's just an easy commute. Now it's also, Helotes and Sonoma is also a pretty big military area, meaning a lot of military families live there, because it's a pretty quick drive down to Lackland Air Force Base. So you are here, you jump on 1604 and it's just a straight shot down 1604, and Lackland Air Force Base is right there. So let me move this so you can see. It's, of course, huge. So you've got Lackland Air Force Base here. And then, as I said in some other videos, if you've watched, we used to have a Kelly Air Force Base. That is no longer an Air Force Base. We are now considering it Port of San Antonio, but this is where Boeing is located, and a lot of great innovative businesses are popping up there in the cybersecurity field and the aviation's field. Northrop Grumman's in here. So really great area. It is going to be a solid 25-minute to 30-minute drive from Port of San Antonio to Helotes. Lackland Air Force Base is going to be closer. It's only going to be about a 20-minute drive because you don't have to sit on I-90 going this way. So not a bad drive. And honestly, this is not really the outskirts of San Antonio anymore. I mean, we've definitely grown. All of this area is now covered in new build communities. So it's not considered the outskirts, but it is still a very easy drive, just straight down 1604. You don't have to change at all, just straight down. It takes you right to the Air Force Base. So very easy commute, which is also why a lot of people are choosing to live in that area. During your weekends and your weeknights, you're just close to everything, and your weekdays to and from work are pretty easy. Also, people who work in medical center have chosen Helotes as their choice, specifically for the easy commute as well. So that is really the bulk of what we wanted to discuss about Helotes. There's not a whole lot of jobs there's not a whole lot of companies that have offered jobs in Helotes other than, your grocery store, your fast food, your restaurants. Most of that is going to be located off the I-10 corridor or downtown or further away. So it's really just a great area to live. It is located in Northside Independent School District, which is rated one of the best school districts in San Antonio. And Helotes schools are rated some of the highest school ratings in Northside ISD, according to niche.com. So those are some really good facts. And a lot of people really love that about Helotes because you have this small town feel. I mean, there's only 9,000 people that live in Helotes, so you get that real small time feel, but you're just close to all the main city things that you don't want to live without. I had a client who moved here and we were shopping for a home, and his big thing was, I want to live in the country, but I want Uber Eats. And you get that in Helotes. You are in the country, depending on what part. I mean, if you go further out in Helotes, you're definitely in the hill country, and you can still do Uber Eats. So it's the best of both worlds, right? Another really interesting fact about Helotes is that 94% of its residents are homeowners. So you don't have a lot of rentals in the Helotes area at all. Honestly, there's not even a lot of apartment complexes. They're more in San Antonio, not in the Helotes area. So if you're looking for a long-term home, it's a really great area. And definitely make sure you check out our Helotes vlogs so you can get a feel for some different neighborhoods and houses and price points. But I appreciate you hanging out with me and learning about Helotes on a map. And I hope this was super helpful for you. And please feel free to reach out to Steve or I if you are looking to make a move. We would absolutely love to hear from you. And thank you so much. Y'all have a great day.